that whole, all this. And then that same 5 main crew can do all that in 1 week.
Okay, so, and so, I know you're saying the hours.
It's hours times.
I got 65.
What's your question?
Oh, and so I know you were saying like the hours account for I'm assuming the production rate also accounts for the entire project too, correct? So we don't have to find the production rate for each individual item, correct?
Correct, yeah. So, and that's why I have it listed up here at this wall line item. And same thing for that wall line item, so it's that whole thing. It's just kind of a way to simplify your labor rates. Or just, you're basically saying, I'm gonna send my crew, they'll knock it out in a week. And then they'll knock the interior framing out in 1 week. A 5 main crew, 1 week. That's basically all the thought that goes into that.
So can we please competitively play against each other?
You should go for it.
We need to
His
decide.
parties are gonna be gone, like, they're not gonna work. We already found he wasn't using the
He
scale
just beat me
right.
about $300.
The problem with us competitively bidding each other is you're gonna be asking us.
And that's the best way to do it.
For a competition.
JD, what did you?
Well, just remember, in estimating, second place pays $0.
Exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes first place pays negative $200.
Hey, but at least you're busy.
Phil says, no problem staying busy, dude, at work.
It's been a bit busy this last couple of weeks. My problem is now I'm having to travel. I'm losing like 2 or 3 days a week traveling.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was out. I was in Northwest Arkansas 2 days last week. I'll be in there 2 days this week.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks bad.
Yeah. We gotta bump up those numbers. Northwest Arkansas should be doing 100 million a year. They're not.
How's your guy up there? You know, the guy?
What guy?
No longer there? Gone? How long did that last?
8 months, maybe, I don't know.
I thought I had just hired on like a pre-con guy for Northwest. I'm looking at him.
One of them, yeah, got equity in some big framer, so don't blame him at all. And then the one after him didn't work out.
Hey, James, I have a question. So the wood you just gave me, that also applies for the interior?
$65,000.
For the labor,
Yeah, like, so for example, I see here on the base plate, I have.
What'd you number? Did you get the final number?
I'm not telling you.
Will that also apply to like the walls and 4 inches in the interior? Will that also apply to, say, the top plate for the 4-inch walls?
for the material rate. So, yeah, 2x4 is a lot less expensive than 2x6, so you do have to pay
Okay.
for prices.
So the size is changing, that not necessarily the material itself.
Correct, the material doesn't change, but the size does, which is about a 50% roughly, it's quite a bit more
I
expensive.
took an average in between the 881 and 755, cause I didn't break out. So I just took the middle price for 2x4s and 2x6s, and one bid for doors and windows.
And what was the size for it? It was 2 by.
The exterior walls are 2x6, the interior walls are 2x4.
So we had I called Lance about it this afternoon, but they didn't send an email or anything. One earthwork guy dropped out, so we only have one bid on that right now.
Who's the bidder?
On, Spurlock,
They're local, aren't they?
12-1 small.
So they're scared, the problem is no one wants to bid against them because they know they're gonna get beat, so they don't wanna waste their time. It'd be nice if you would bid it.
I texted him, texted me back, but
He knows all about it. You run into that a lot when there's, somebody's got that much of an advantage that everybody else already knows they're gonna lose, so they're not willing to waste their time.
yeah.
I'll probably do like a really detailed number, and, you know, kind of
No,
say,
you're right.
see if I can't talk somebody into bidding it, but is what it is. It's part of working in rural Arkansas.
It's been hard to get people up there, people willing to bid on it.
Nobody wants to travel.
And I don't blame them, I really don't blame them.
Hey, Mr. Phil, can you show how you got that 1.34 on the material rate?
So that is a pressure treated 2x6. And so when I went to Maynard's, it was $16.08 for a 12-foot long pressure treated 2x6. So I took the price, divided it by the length that they provided, and that gave me a cost of $1.34 per linear foot.
Now, does the length matter?
Not really, like, so if you priced in my experience, if you go price a 2x10, it will be the same price per linear foot. Like technically, like you might save a penny or two, you know, a 2x8 versus a 2x14, but then it's even more if it's a 2x16, and I just say it's fine, let's go with it. Pricing out a 1,000,000 square foot apartment building, yeah, you might actually get down to the penny, but it's fine for this class.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I was looking on the website, and they have some 2x4, by 8 feet, some are 10 feet, 6 feet, so I don't know which one particularly that you want us to.
I'm fine with which, it should come out to a pretty similar cost per linear foot. As they get longer, they do get a little more expensive, but per linear foot, but not much. And I would generally go with the longer dimension if I were ordering this, is just background, not for this class, but I would go with a longer dimension than shorter one in general. That's just that much fewer.
So like a
Nails
12, so
and
like 12 or 14
bolts.
would be pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah, 2x10, 2x12 is probably what I would expect to use. And also, if you ever have to carry those, they're freaking heavy, so you don't wanna get too carried away with how long they are. I worked on a framing crew when I was in college, and one of my jobs was to carry the lumber, just, you know, from point A to point B. And they're like, okay, start carrying, and I carried like 3 2x4s, and like everybody kinda laughed at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And they're like, no, you stack them up like that deep. And rotate them up onto your shoulder till you can't, like, the blood's cutting out. You're like, okay, got it. But by far the worst thing to carry is glue lamps. Those are just absolute monsters.
They are?
Oh my God. Yeah, cause you got one guy, cause there's no equipment on a residential job site, there's no equipment. So it's, if you gotta carry glue lamp up to the ceiling level, only one guy can be the guy going up the ladder. And so all that weight's on your shoulders, you try to climb the ladder, it's just the worst.
What? Works out to be the same. What's your total? That is total. That's 60. Still, that's not bad. Oh, yeah. Oh. What was your total for the 604? No, your price total for your 604. I don't have enough. I don't have any at home.
So you're gonna have 2x6s, so your top plate's the same dimension as your wall.
Okay.
So bottom plate, stud, and top plate are all the same, 2x6 or 2x4.
So it should be the same price as the stud.
Sorta. So I'm fine with the pricing it the same way. Technically, studs are gonna be, spruce fir studs, which are gonna be much straighter. And then your top plates will be cheaper, southern yellow pine.
That's all pricing.
It's getting kinda more technical than this class is meant to be, but like I said, I made that mistake, no one taught me, so I figured you must have passed it on.
Windows, just quantifying like the average price of the window.
No, so those, what you're counting there
It's all
is,
pricing difference.
So,
I price my stuff.
click into your-
I got a cheaper rate on my pricing.
There you go.
What was that? And now JD's gonna have to sell his house.
Okay, so you got 21 times
everyone's gonna get pretty much over.
so those are just individual
And he's gonna turn
studs.
the guy beat up by the residential guy.
So whatever your stud price is.
Residential guys covered what commercial buildings are all about.
Hey.
And the residential guys, it's all over.
We feel like something that big in commercial building. You have.
They really-
Plate.
I saw
No,
those
that's,
buildings on,
So,
yesterday, right before Circle K. And,
that's the
almost
floor
right in
plan
that
for your
area.
building.
That's what I said, oh,
These
almost-
are
Y'all back,
these-
right?
Yeah. Oh, it's South Street there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
Technically, this is not
One
quite
that
a
has
case, it's called
office
T,
buildings.
that's
It's gonna be like a
corner.
little daycare center.
Corner?
Yeah.
So,
We got worked out the contract. We'll go for
this
go in there.
over here.
Seriously?
No, this is your stud wall, and that's your stud wall. There's no, see, there's no way to connect them without an extra stud, roughly. Now you can attach. That's a really crude and poorly done, I'm not firmer. But basically, that's what you're accounting for, is 1, 2, 3 studs to connect at a T.
Is that the T's?
And so that's just the stud price as well.
That's the T's and corners? I was just about to ask about that.
That's why you're multiplying it by 3, because it takes 3 studs at each corner
Okay.
for T.
So, when it comes to the material rate for that, how will we be able to?
It's just the same, it's just plug in your stud price, as long as you're multiplying the quantity of corners by 3, then your material price is just the same price as the stud.
And then your headers are 2 by 10, right? Is that what you said?
Yep.
So it'd be, would you divide it by 10 foot since it's a 10 foot long?
Correct, to get your price per linear foot.
Okay. Then I think I got it. Yep. And then the sheathing, it was like an 8 by 4 panel of sheathing. Just divide that by the square footage.
Yep, 5 by 32, good. Technically, you could sit down and really figure out exactly how many whole sheets you could use and back out for windows. Nobody does that. It won't work out, you'll short it. Just figure out how many square feet and you'll be fine.
So our corners and T's are, it's the same price as our studs?
Yes, because you multiplied your quantity times four.
This is for me.
Right, so, looking here, I've got 4 corners, right? So that's 4
All of it is just.
times 3 is 12 each. So I have 12 studs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Does that make sense? Because you need 3 studs at each corner.
Your top plate is gonna be the same as your stud box, because.
Nah, okay, so for the studs,
Your headers.
I have
Is, 2x10.
approximately 449 each. So that would mean by the time I end up with 5, 3, I
And
would
then
get
your doors.
No,
end up
how many
the same
corners do you have?
as your-
How many corners of T's did you count on the plan?
Your top corners and T's and doors, windows are all the same.
Oh, 72. I got it 72 corners.
Okay, so then multiply that times 3. 72 times 3.
Okay.
That's how many studs you have to buy. That's not your stud count, that's your corner and T count, but the reality is you're buying 3 studs to make 1 corner.
Okay, and then, so I'll do 73 times 3, and then that would be my price.
Oh, right here.
That would be your quantity,
Oh, my quantity,
and then your price is just the price of the
Those
stud.
are all the same.
which is 8.36.
What's your question? Okay, so, okay, so let's just start on, say, the next one's top plate. So in your search bar, type in 2 by 6.
I mean, for 4-foot walls as well? Or would they be different?
Southern Illinois.
You change,
Some of the measurement, right?
yeah, you change, cause these are 4-inch walls, so they use